The Super Bowl is in 8 days, y'all. That means that we have to start making up our Super Bowl party recipes. I'm going to be making mini versions of a few items for you guys. Let's go and let's make our refried beans for our 7-layer dip. Let's cut up an onion, dice it up real small. Next up is our garlic. So it says 3 cloves, but I'm gonna use 6 because a couple of these are really small. All right, our pot and our oil is hot now, so we're gonna add in our onion carefully. I put about 2 tablespoons worth of oil in here, and we're just gonna cook the onions for a few minutes till they get translucent. Alrighty, we're looking fairly translucent here, so I'm going to add in our garlic. Cook it for about 2 minutes. Next is to add our beans with liquid and all, y'all. So I have my black beans here. I have 540 ml can. We're gonna give it a little mix here. Scrape up all the garlics that were stuck to the bottom of the pot. And then we wanna make sure that the beans have enough liquid. So we're just gonna add in a little bit of vegetable broth. Just enough so that the beans are covered. I'm just gonna add like the smallest amount because there's quite a bit of liquid. The recipe states 1/4 cup to a cup, but we just want them barely covered. So I'm just gonna add like a little splash because last time I made them, I definitely put too much and then I didn't cook them long enough where the refried beans were very liquidy. Okay, you do not want liquidy beans. Okay, we're going to bring it to a boil and let them simmer. Okay, we're at a low boil now, so I'm going to add in some salt. I have 1/2 teaspoon. Give it a mix in. Now we're going to cover it and reduce it to low and cook it for 20 minutes. Our timer is up. I've actually started another one because I stirred these when there was like 5 minutes left and they are very liquidy still. I don't even think I needed to add any vegetable broth because these are very liquidy still. Okay, we want a little bit of thickness in our refried beans. We're gonna put them in some rolls for lunch too, and they just squish out the end if you put them in a corn tortilla. Okay, so I'm gonna keep these on for another 7.5 minutes, which will be 30 minutes in total. I'm going to make some cheese sauce. So we're going to do some Daiya Mexican shreds here, and I think I'm gonna do about 1/2 cup of shreds. This is always a game of like liquids to cheese ratio experimenting. So we're gonna do about 1/2 cup of shreds, and I'm really interested because this is the oat cream formula. They are still certified gluten-free and I have not had any issues, so it melts really well, so I'm really interested to see how it goes. So now that we have that in there, I'm going to add in some unsweetened milk, soy milk. I'm just gonna start with a couple tablespoons because you don't want it too runny and it can get very runny very fast, and then you need to just keep adding the cheese shreds. Maybe we'll do one more, 3 tablespoons. Okay, let's wait till it gets hot. Okay, this is looking interesting. It looks like it's melting already. Oh, it's bubbling. Okay, so now we're just going to melt it down. I also checked on our beans and they're still kind of liquidy, so I just put them back on for another 10 minutes, but I'll check them probably halfway. Now, this is almost melted here. I'm gonna turn this way down. Now, this is too thick though, because we want to be able to scoop, right? So it's 7-layer dip. We're gonna have the beans on the bottom, then the cheese. So we want this to be spreadable, but also like if you dip a chip into it, scoopable. So this might actually is kind of perfect, but I fear that when it cools down, it's going to be way too thick because obviously we're going to be letting this cool before we assemble everything. So I'm gonna grab some more milk. I'll add in 2 more tablespoons. I think I did 3 or 4, I can't remember. So this is either 5 or 6. This cheese is melting so nicely, and honestly so much faster than the old Daiya formula. I remember having to like just keep going and going and going because it would just be a hard like clump and it wouldn't melt down. This is so fast. We're going to put this together when it's cooled, so I want the cheese sauce to still be somewhat saucy, not hard again, by the time we assemble. And this is looking like the perfect consistency. Yes! Okay, I'll probably just turn off the burner now. So there, our cheese sauce is done, about halfway-ish from another 10-minute timer. So we're gonna check in on the beans. Got a little bit of stickage, and these smell so amazing, you guys, like so good. Okay, we are still very watery, y'all, like very watery. So I think I'm gonna for sure leave it on for the remainder of the, which is only 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So let's just put the lid back on and leave it. It has been 45 minutes and we are really starting to look good now. There's much less liquid, so I think, and they're really starting to stick to the bottom. So I think it's time for us to blend. I'm gonna grab my immersion blender and do it that way. This is where it can get messy, so just be careful. You can blend as much or as little as you like, but I think this is just perfect. So I'm gonna leave it like this, kind of chunky, just because it's a little bit hard to actually blend it. I have to like mush it here and then blend it. So I'm gonna leave it at this thickness. I'm just gonna put it into a bowl and set it aside to let it cool down. Now I'm gonna start with that, and let's just see how much this. Look at it steaming. It's probably good I'm doing this outside. Okay, that is looking beautiful. Let's make sure we're all the way up because we want a nice side shot so you can really see the different layers. Got our cheese sauce, still pretty liquidy. Ooh, that looks so good. I think this is gonna be the perfect amount. Plastic wrap over top so that didn't get a disgusting crusty crust on the top, and it did amazingly. Try to spread it out in a nice even layer so we can see it to the edges. And I did say this is going to be like a small version, but to be honest, I feel like this is actually a really good size for a party. If you're going to have like multiple appetizers and stuff, this is probably the perfect size. So I just have some salsa, Tostitos, and some other brand, I don't know. I just picked it up at the store. So. No. I'm not gonna make this entire thing full, swampy of salsa. I mean, if you love salsa, go for it, like do it up. Perfect. So now we have a nice layer, even layer of salsa. Okay, next up is our corn and our tomatoes, fresh. The corn is frozen, I just heated it up. Now, of course, if you can eat avocados, Clay can't eat avocados, you can do a layer of guacamole as well. It is called 7 layers, and I'm definitely not doing 7 layers. But I've also seen versions where you put lettuce on the top. I just don't think that looks good. Next up, we're gonna add some more Daiya cheese. I didn't do this last time I made this, but I thought it looked really good and made the dish look better, so. That looks so good. So I've put some Toffuti sour cream into a piping bag with a tip. Look at the tip, y'all. Can you even see it? It's like, I don't even know. I just thought it'd be fun, okay? Come on. It looks so good. Top it with our tajin. I think it looks weird now since I did that crosshatch kind of thing. Okay, let's go get some chips because I guess I have to do an eating shot. I cut up some green onions to put on the top as well. I think it'll look good. And then I have my chips. Ta-da! Look how good it looks, y'all. See all the layers? Beautiful. That's exactly what you want. Oh gosh, I didn't even get the beans. No. You know what? Get behind here and pretend. Oh, this is gonna be so terrible. Oh my god, this is so good. Don't leave out the green onions, y'all. I forgot how good this dip was. Like, it is ridiculously good. The flavors, like everything. This is the best dip ever. Like, and it hit like when I made it last year for the Super Bowl. We had family members over that aren't vegan. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the things I made hit, but like they were like just giving her, like they loved this. Delicious. So I would say meat eaters and non-meat eaters alike. Plus, it is gluten-free. And the beans are way healthier because you made them yourself. Cheese sauce, obviously not gonna be that healthy, but you could also make a homemade nacho cheese sauce with potatoes and carrots. Hot for Food has one recipe if you want to actually be like everything from scratch. Do not forget about those green onions because those are so freaking good. Okay, I'm so happy. It tastes amazing. That will be item number 1 for the Super Bowl. Let's move on to the next item.